Very few trophies mean more than this one. It symbolizes the WPBA Tour Championship winner, the national 9-ball champion. Karen Corr will try to take home her 4th. Chao Ting Pan, her 1st. 2 great champions, 1 match, 1 chance at WPBA Classic Tour history.
Player number 1, Chao Ting Pan. And her opponent, Karen Corr.
From the magnificent Seneca Niagara Casino Resort in Niagara Falls, New York, it's the finals of the WPBA Tour Championship. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the finals of a major event on tour, the Tour Championship. Glad to have you with us, as always. Mitch Lawrence alongside the Black Widow, Jeanette Lee. Jeanette, we have been here all week. We have seen 64 players go after this spot that we're about to see right now. All of them wanted to be here. Only 2 are left. Both of them know what it means to be here, Karen Corr and Chao Ting Pan. But an interesting difference in their semifinal matchups leading into this final. Tell us about it.
Yeah, they're both really fierce competitors, but what we noticed in Chao Ting Pan is that her cue ball control was so good. Her speed control was on point, but then she missed balls, which was really uncharacteristic, whereas Karen Corr felt very comfortable at the table, felt very at ease, but her cue ball seemed to be all over the place, but she didn't miss. So we'll see what happens. You never know, because they tend to rise to the occasion. So whatever was there, it's going to be gone now.
Okay, the pressure of a major championship, both players about to be tested. One will walk away with the title. Let's look now at our Aramith road to the finals. As you can see, Karen Corr got to this final matchup with a victory over Brittany Bryant, 19-year-old Canadian. Of course, Chao Ting Pan with a big-time victory, a thriller on the hill against number 2 ranked Ga Young Kim. And there's the handshake as we prepare for the leg for the opening break. Chao Ting Pan of mainland China on the left. Karen Corr, originally from Northern Ireland, now living in Tennessee, on the right. This will be for the honor of that opening break, and is it ever important? Karen Corr will have it, and a beautiful lag. Look at that. That is what you want. She took advantage of having that opportunity in her semifinal against Brittany Bryant. The break and run to set the tone for that 7-1 victory, and she will have a chance to do the same thing here again. Chao Ting Pan waiting for tournament director Steve Tipton to prepare the rack. And Steve will prepare that beautiful pink Delta 13 true triangle rack. The reason it's pink, for a very good reason. The fight against breast cancer, a part of the WPBA Classic Tour and the partnership with Delta 13. 10% of all the proceeds from the sale of the Delta 13 rack at WPBA.com will go to the fight against breast cancer. We thank Terry Taggart and Kyle Taggart, all the family at Delta 13 for their great work in helping us with that. And here we go. The Irish invader, Karen Corr, to the table. That look on Chao Ting Pan's face will change very little during the course of the match. She'll wait and see what Karen does. The final is on.
Well, she hit them very solidly, but not very hard. I think she just wanted to see if she could just get the corner ball to go without putting too much power. I think the next rack she'll probably hit them a lot harder. The 2 balls on the opposite end of the table. She has a very makeable 1 ball. The cue ball, after hitting the 1, should hit the 6 ball, hit the end rail, and go back over to the same side as the 2 ball. This looks like she's cueing low to draw off the 6 out to the middle of the table. I think it was a lot riskier, as you can see.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Looks like she can hit the 2. The problem is 3 balls completely on the opposite end of the table. And when you have a thin cut like she does, it's hard to get a lot of draw or a lot of follow. It tends to want to just come straight across.
Chao. All right, makes the 2, but you see the work she has left to do on the 3. As she looks at it, we'll quickly give you the rules of this final matchup. It's a race to 7 for the title. There's a 30-second shot clock with 1 extension per rack. They'll alternate the break, and it will be foul on all balls. try to bring that 3 closer to the 4.
Yeah, she actually hit that ball a little fuller than she would have liked because she was trying to hit the ball a little thinner so the cue ball would travel more and be on the same rail behind the 6 ball right now. But instead, she left Karen a nice opportunity to play a safety. Oh, she was
Went
going
for
for
it.
the bank, yeah.
Both of us, I think, surprised by that a little bit.
Well, especially because the safety seemed pretty easy. You just go one rail behind the 9 and the 7, and Karen tends to be more defensive than offensive,
Exactly
in my opinion. But
So now a wholly different table for Xiaoting as she steps to the table. She gets ready for the 4. Talk about this beautiful playing equipment. Professional Paragon table by Diamond Billiard. Delta 13 true triangle rack we've mentioned, and Simonis 860 cloth. Xiaoting started off wonderfully in her semifinal match against her rival Ga Young Kim, was up 3-0 in that race to 7, and at 1.62 on the hill. Things changed. Ga Young got some chances at the table. Xiaoting missed a number of 9s. Chance to end it. Wound up winning at the end 7-6, and kind of a thriller at the end. She's forgotten all that now, I think.
yeah,
Good at leaving it behind. And back to the kind of shot making and stroke that we're used to seeing when she's playing well. This was a good chance for her to get back to the table in this first rack.
yeah, she's got a nice tempo, and you could see she went over and looked to see exactly where she wanted to be on the 8. She doesn't take it for granted that it's kind of a stop, stop, stop out, you know.
Last year's runner-up at the WPBA Tour Championship, losing to winner Jasmine Ocean. Jasmine knocked out earlier by Jeanette Lee, sitting next to me earlier in the tournament.
Oh, did I do
So
that?
she did not have a chance to defend. But Xiaoting Pan taking care of business now, and what she wants to see. A mark, first rack to Xiaoting Pan of mainland China here in the finals of the WPBA Tour Championship. Every year, millions of visitors from around the world come to the spectacular falls in Niagara, New York, a constant reminder of the beauty and power of nature's force. A week ago, visitors of another kind came to Western New York. 64 of the greatest 9-ball players from around the world, who came in search of the WPBA Classic 9-ball Tour's premier title, each displaying their own brand of brilliance, their own dynamic ability. Now, just 2 are left. Xiaoting Pan of China ranked 2nd in the world, gunning for the only major tour title that has eluded her. Karen Corr of Ireland ranked 4th in the world with a resume full of majors, but winless on tour since 2007. Each one a proven winner, a champion summoning the gifts that have brought her past glory. Each one hungry for the tour title that will define this year's campaign. The final match of the 2010 Classic Tour season, the one that will determine the WPBA Tour champion, the national champion, has begun. This ESPN presentation of the WPBA Tour Championship is brought to you by Seneca Niagara Casino Resort. Enjoy the Seneca experience, Niagara Falls, New York. By the American Pool Players Association, the world's largest pool league. And by Diamond Billiard Products, designed by players for players. As we get ready to move to rack 4, we've got a couple racks of highlights. First, rack 2, Xiaoting with the break. A solid one. Well-executed rack, moves through it easily, and does what you want to do. An early 2-0 lead for Xiaoting Pan in a race to 7. Karen Corr at the table with the break in rack number 3. She would make a ball on the break and have a shot on the 1, but inexplicably, for someone playing as well as Karen has been playing up to this point, that shot on the 1, you see her disappointment. Xiaoting would come to the table, once again take advantage of an opponent's mistake. That gave her An early 3-0 lead here in this final matchup. And as Karen Corr just sits and thinks about that miss, look at this record, one of the most incredible records, I think, on tour, along with 23 tour titles. Look at all those top 3 finishes since her last victory in 2007 at the BCA Open Championship. Amazing how close she has come. 8 times in the top 3 for Karen Corr. Xiaoting Pan already leading 3-0 in this race to 7, the finals of the WPBA Tour Championship, the National 9-Ball Championship here in Niagara Falls, New York at the spectacular Seneca Niagara Casino Resort. One in the side.
Wow.
Beautiful timing on that break. I don't know if she'll be rewarded, but
well, she was. That 2-ball did clear the 6, but now the 3-ball got in front of it. So now we're looking at some kind of safety.
and this is the kind of play that can make or break this rack for Xiaoting, is making the correct decision on the 2. Not just whether to play a safe, Jeanette, but where to play it and how to play it.
Right. She's in a tough spot right here. I mean, almost to the point where I would consider pushing out to a slightly less difficult safety.
The cue ball back down table. Watch out.
Yeah, this is the.
See, off the 7. That's exactly where it was headed. Wow. Wow.
Really difficult position. She's hitting it beautifully. You've got to watch the speed because now you're dancing with that corner pocket, and there's the scratch, which she knew was a risk.
This is why I said this was so big, because you've got Karen where you want her. You're up 3-0 in a race to 7, and you can squeeze it. And instead, not only does Karen have a chance at the table, she has ball in hand at the table and a chance to play the 2 and the 3 and then the 4 the way she wants to and get on the board.
Okay, she's going to draw back here, but it's important. Let's see. Careful. Oh.
She will take a good look from the other side at what she wants to do with the 5.
4-ball on the side is nice and easy. She just wants to make sure she stays away from that 7-ball. Top spin will allow her to do that. She's going to go towards that corner pocket, 2 rails, come out, and she'll have a natural angle on the 5-ball.
Nice work. Speed, everything on that shot. You know, Karen, we talk about the fact she hasn't won since 2007. The standards for both these players are so incredibly high. Last year in 2009, Karen had an unbelievable season. I mean, really unbelievable season. In 2010, she's had a great year. 2nd at the U.S. Open, 3rd at the China Open, 5th in Atlanta, 3rd in San Diego. You know, finishes that would give a lot of players a wonderful year. But because it's Karen in what is a surefire Hall of Fame career, you look at it and say, well, she hasn't won.
But she's won so many tournaments that you know it's coming.
Yeah.
It's, you know.
It's just amazing to me that it's been 3 years. That's the part with as close as she's gotten. But again,
I don't think that's so much that she's not playing well. It's that there's so much more talent. They just go so much deeper. You know, before it was always just 2 or 3 of the same players winning and winning and winning. Now there's just so many great, great young stars out there.
Check out. Great. She'll play that 8 inside.
Yep. She'll take it.
Again, can't overstate it. This was a very big rack. Karen Corr will be on the board for the first time should she make this 9. And she does. And what you want to do at this level is make a player pay for a mistake. She did that with Xiaoting. Still trails by 2 racks here in New York. The woman from Ballymoney in Northern Ireland who came to the United States to try to make a name for herself in 9-ball, Karen Corr. Let's learn more about the Irish Invader as we go behind the cue, brought to you by Simonis.
You know, we counted up, there's like 14 different countries competing on the WPBA Tour, which is awesome, you know what I mean?
I'm saying accomplished, because that's the truth.
So hopefully I can get the break going and make balls off the break. At least I'll give myself the opportunity. That's a tough little question there, isn't it? pretty defensive. I've always been that way really, and it's been a strength too. So I try playing more aggressive and go for it and what have you, and then I go for one or two too many and go, oh, shouldn't have done that. Yeah, part of the personality. I tried, goofing around a bit more on the table. It didn't work. I can't concentrate, do two jobs at once. This is my last championships. What am I going to do? Being inducted to the Hall of Fame would be awesome because you gain the respect of the fellow players and the people in the industry, and that'd be a really big accomplishment. Oh, I'm getting old, as you keep saying. Staying focused, staying competitive, wanting to learn all the time, wanting to improve even. Oh, in my maturing years, yes. Being competitive, obviously there'll be a day where, that'll come to an end, but as far as, we're going now, we've got the glasses, we've got the health and the wealth, and we'll continue as long as we can.
The Seneca Niagara Casino and Hotel, one of the nation's elite casino resorts just blocks from Niagara Falls. It offers a full resort experience. Fabulous hotel rooms, great restaurants, gaming, entertainment, got it all. The Seneca Niagara Casino Resort. Enjoy the Seneca experience in Niagara Falls, New York. We'll now show you the highlights from a couple of exciting racks. First, rack number 5, Karen trailing 3-1, and with the break, she's just gotten her first rack on the board, but comes up dry. Xiaoting would step to the table and try to play this safety on the 1. Tried to hide the cue ball behind the 5, but did not do it. Karen, a nice touch shot into the side pocket, and she would go on from there to run through the rest of the rack to the 9, and there is the 9 that would give her her second rack. Still trailing by 1, Xiaoting would have the break in rack number 6. And this time, she would come up dry on the break. Karen, the safety herself on the 1. Almost got there, but not quite. Xiaoting would have a jump shot. And a beautiful one it was. Looked great running through the rack, and then got to the 8. And watch this, overcuts the 8. And instead of taking a 4-2 lead, Karen would pocket the 9 and get it even at 3 racks apiece. Karen Corr knows what it feels like to hold a national championship trophy. She has 3, trying to get her 4.
Sometimes you need to get a little creative. I had a similar situation to this come up in this very tournament. And the balls are fairly wide open. I can get on the 2 ball if it wasn't for that 4 and the 6 being in the way. So instead of just trying to go for the run out automatically, even though I can make this 1 ball, I'm going to go ahead and play a safety here and also a 2-way shot. By hit and sticking the cue ball right there, playing a stop shot on the 1, I can send the 1 ball all the way around the table, possibly making this 5-9 combination. And even if I miss it, I'm going to leave a safety for my opponent, try to leave the cue ball behind the 4. And that shot ended up winning me the game. So go ahead and use your imagination. That's my Q Tech Q tip of the day.
Inside the luxurious Seneca Niagara Casino Resort, the finals of the Tour Championship. We've got 2 wonderful finalists here. We often give you comparisons of differences. This time, Jeanette, let's look at a similarity, an important one between these 2 great champions.
Something that we take for granted is the idea of staying down and following through. And 2 people that are most known for it is Xiaoting Pan and Karen Corr. On the easy shots, it's no problem to stay down, but when they're just a little bit funny, very tough shots, you can count on these 2 to for sure stay down.
Mitch Lawrence and the Black Widow, Jeanette Lee, bringing you the action of what has become a very tight final matchup. Tied at 3, race to 7 for the title. Karen Corr with the break in rack 7.
Okay, most people tend to break harder. She's actually breaking the same speed, but she moved her cue ball over, rail to rail on this one ball, with no reasonable offensive shot. Yuck. That's all I have to say about this.
That's the technical term.
Yes. I see a thin hit coming. Very thin on the one. Leave the one ball up there. Let the cue ball come all the way back. Whoa, way too thick. Did you see her jump straight up in the air?
Did.
She knew it as soon as she let go of the shot. And now, looking again, she's got to hit this one ball very thinly. She wants that one ball to just trickle and stay up there while the cue ball comes 2 rails back down, and she just jumps right up in the air. She knows she hit it way fuller than she would have liked it. And this is how she got punished. Xiaoting with a nice shot on the one. She can just actually get the cue ball to slide over. 2 ball in the corner pocket.
There you go. The middle part of this match, this is when it really starts getting tight in here. You can start really feeling it in the room.
She wants to make sure she stays away from this 9 ball. Perfect. Very nice.
Nice speed.
So now she should be shooting the 3 ball in the corner pocket. Her cue has to be a little bit elevated, a little more than she would have liked because of the 8 ball, but still a very makeable shot. And the cue ball's going to hit the side rail and then bounce. Nice.
Beautiful speed there.
She's just going to come across. And each one of these, this is like a practice drill. One side to the other side, back to the other side. Look at the 7, the 6. Each time wanting a little bit of an angle. And here she can now start going straight, straight, straight. So draw back for a fairly straight in shot on the 7 so she can come down for the 8. Further than she would have liked, but sometimes you got to just focus on, you know what, let me just make this ball. Nice. Uh-oh.
Enough of a slight angle. Wow. Wow. You saw how close that came. And the reaction by Xiaoting.
A little pursing of the lips. And she's just going to finesse that 9 ball in the corner pocket. A little bit of draw. It's going to send the cue ball down to the end rail.
How about it? That is some really good work, again, under pressure by Xiaoting, especially after missing the last rack at the end of the rack. Taking care of business, and now a 1-rack lead for Xiaoting Pan here at the Seneca Niagara Resort. One of the benefits of traveling the world on tour is, of course, getting to visit the local sites. And during our championship week here in Niagara, New York, some of the stars of the Classic Tour got to experience one of the true wonders of the world. Literally a couple of blocks from the Seneca Niagara Casino Resort, the awesome beauty and power of Niagara Falls added another great memory to an already memorable week. Let's take a look now at our top finishers, brought to you by Delta 13. And among those great names, how about the week for Brittany Bryant, 19 years old, of Canada, ranked 29th coming in, the 2-time World Junior 9-ball champion with a 3rd-place finish here at the WPBA Tour Championship.
I only expected to get into the top 16 because I've never been there before, so from here and on out, I'm just trying to play and have fun, so it's working out. I would love to win a world title by the time I'm 25. Women's world title, and I'd like to crack top 10 in the next 2 years, so we'll see.
Beautiful shot here inside the Seneca Niagara Casino Resort, Niagara Falls, New York. Mitch Lawrence and the Black Widow, Jeanette Lee, glad to be with you for the 2010 WPBA Tour Championship, the National 9-Ball Championship. Xiaoting Pan of China trying for her first, Karen Corr her 4th. Xiaoting leading 4-3 as we move to rack 8.
What a solid break for someone
You can
so
hear
little.
it. It's pretty amazing. comes up dry. That
That's
one in the
right.
corner.
Playing position, her speed is perfect for the one ball in the corner. It'd be nice if she could hit the one ball, cut it, a little bit of low right-hand English, hit the end rail, come over to the same side as the 2. Just right between the 3 and the 4. Come over to the side rail. Just beyond that side pocket on the right-hand side. Just beyond it. There you go. And watch out. Wow.
That is a very big half roll too much.
And that was speed control. She just hit it too hard. You know, some people would call that unlucky, but actually she knew she hit that too hard. Taking a little bit of time. All she can do right now is try to, she's going to have to hit it with a little bit of speed. See, this is the problem. Hitting it with more speed makes you less accurate. But if you don't hit it with speed, you're pretty much guaranteed to leave her sitting right, you know, with the one ball and the cue ball, I mean, the cue ball and the 2 ball right next to each other. She's looking to see what happens if she just banks the ball away. Trying to get
Bank it down. Yep. Right behind there, much distance as she can get. Good shot. She chose not to use her extension there. An interesting choice.
She's looking to see where she wants to hit the 2 ball. At this level, you're not just looking to hit the ball. You're looking to see, all right, where can I leave the ball? Elevating the back of the cue a little bit. Lots of left-hand English to swerve around the 9 ball. All right, that was a good lead.
Oh yeah. She'll take that. She will definitely take that. Here's another look.
All right, she's massaying a little bit. When you elevate the back of your cue, gives it a lot of left-hand English. She's going to try to come down, bank this 2 ball a little bit. She hits it nice and thin, ends up with a great lead. Now she knows when she hits the end rail and hits this 2, the 2 ball is going to stay around there because it's going to hit off the 3. So she wants to hit it with some speed and let the cue ball stay up there, lead the 2 ball down here, and
Look how quickly Karen is at that table. It
Yeah,
was almost like she was
shot.
standing there while Xiaoting was hitting that shot.
you know, I'm wondering if she can hit this 2 ball really full and bank the 2 ball to the end rail and back up to the middle of the opposite end rail, let the cue ball follow down and get behind the 7. It's hard to tell. The other thing is she can hit the left side of the 2 and just leave the cue ball under the 9 and bank the 2 ball away. That might be easier. Don't go in the side pocket, though. You know
Good shot.
what? I think this is an opportunity for Xiaoting to jump again. Yeah.
Rack 6, jumped in the 1. See if she can bring that
Now this is
technique
not
to this shot.
Yeah, this is not an easy one, but there is a reward. If she makes this ball, 3 balls right there. If she misses it, nice chance for the 2 ball to just sweep away from there. But she's absolutely going to try to play and make this ball. Uh-oh.
Obviously a good hit. You saw the 2 ball travel. The question is now, can Karen get to that side of the 2? Cut it in?
Looks like she can. She doesn't seem too upset by it, so. She's watching her body hitting the 6 ball. She just wants to chop the 2 ball and let the cue ball come up between the 5 and the 9. She didn't seem to use her eyes to picture the speed too much. I think she was putting all her focus on making sure she made the ball.
Okay, pretty straight in on the 3 there. Clothing, very important. Right about now, she's wishing she didn't have the shirt under the sweater. See, and you're thinking about so much that all of a sudden the shot becomes completely unexpected. Look at that.
Right, and this is where she was just trying to draw the ball. She cued very, very low with her tip on the bottom side of the ball, trying to get the ball to come back after hitting the 3. And thinking about other things, she just poked right down and, what we call, I don't know, could you call it a whiff? What would you call it? We call it a miscue when you actually cued the ball so poorly.
Yep.
It just jumped and right on top of the 3 ball and scratched the side pocket. I mean the corner pocket.
And up quickly herself with Xiao Ting Pan. Remember, she's leading 4-3 in a race to 7.
And she knows she's not going to get a lot of opportunity. She needs to take advantage of this.
And, you know, we talked earlier about Karen taking advantage of some of her mistakes, and this is when you absolutely want to make Karen pay.
Really nice. And here she needs to make a committed decision. Is she going to be in the middle of the table with an angle on the 6 ball for the cue ball to hit the end rail and come back? Or is she going to cut the 6 to go to the side rail and come out? So now she's just going to punch the 6 into the corner and let the cue ball hit the side rail, come back.
I think it's really nice of Xiao Ting to pretty much show you exactly where she wants to be on her shots.
We appreciate that.
I mean, that is so helpful. It's also a good way of you at home judging the kind of speed control she's playing with. If she's trying to get to a certain spot and then gets either short of it or past it.
She'd like to get right in the middle of the table here. Shoot the 7. Kind of dead in the middle like that.
We'll stretch out for this one a little bit.
And that's part of it is definitely a height stretching thing where she was kind of testing it and saying, okay, can I reach this?
This good position and a good angle to see this 9. Rack number 8 for Xiao Ting Pan. After a very costly mistake by Karen Corr, gave her the opportunity. Now leading by 2 racks and 2 racks away from the title. Welcome back, everybody, to the WPBA Tour Championship. We're in Niagara Falls, New York at the Seneca Niagara Casino Resort. You know, whether you're an experienced pool player or a beginner interested in having some fun, the American Pool Players Association has exactly what you're looking for.
I love it.
It's a family atmosphere.
Just a great get-together.
It's really all about having fun, being around a group of people that you enjoy being around on a weekly basis, and yeah, we're playing pool. We have doctors, lawyers, bricklayers.
People from, you know, all different walks of life.
I've got to know a lot of other players that I would have never met before if I didn't play in this APA league.
First, we've got about 275,000 members across the country.
It's always good competition, and really anybody can win.
We put on some phenomenal national championships.
You get to play with your friends.
You have an opportunity to win a piece of our $1.5 million, or approximately, that we pay out at those tournaments.
I like that the APA league is a relaxed competition.
Anybody that shows up at a pool league and wants to play and has an interest in playing, not only can show up and play, but can show up and win.
Go to our website, poolisfun.com.
It's a lot of fun. You know.
It's a blast.
And I've loved it ever since we started.
Inside the beautiful Seneca Niagara Casino, the trophies that will go to these 2 players. Both of them want the top one, the winner's trophy. Let's look at the highlights now of rack 9. Karen at the table trailing 5-3. And for the 3rd time in this final matchup, she comes up dry. A safety battle would ensue on the 1. Look at this roll. Xiao Ting, take a seat, Karen, with that reaction. She would play a safety back, and onward we would go. Xiao Ting at this point would come back, watch the cue ball, Off the one, into the corner pocket. That would be ball in hand for Karen. She would move through to the 4. Try to play a safety there, but she left Xiaoting a shot. Xiaoting would make the 4 into that corner, come back around for the 5, and then this shot on the 5. She jars it, leaving Karen safe. Great champions come with great shots. Watch this two-railer by Karen. The 5 goes, shape on the 6. That led to the 9. Karen Corr back within a rack at 5-4. Xiaoting Pan of China comes to the table, still leading 5-4. Race to 7. Trying to get her first WPBA Tour Championship. Former World 9-ball champion, Tour title holder. Currently ranked 3rd in the world. Would this be a sweet way to end the year? For either player, it's going to be a great way to end this season on the WPBA Classic Tour. Softer break there. Dry again.
Yeah, she looks pretty disappointed by that. She's got to do something different. Okay, Karen Corr has a, fairly tough shot on the 1-ball corner pocket. The cue ball can hit the side rail and come right between the 4 and the 7, back to the other side rail and bounce. She might have hit that too hard. Her speed is still off. Remember the last track? She hit it too hard.
Yep. You saw her pointer cue it where she wanted to be and was not.
She's very good at jumping balls, and this would be fairly easy to jump if she wasn't also already jacked up over the 8 and the 5.
There's that safe off the rail. Would like that to bounce out behind the 4, but it does not. And again, we've seen her so many times playing safeties in this match, just walk away disappointed.
Right now, Xiaoting is happy for the opportunity. She's going to shoot the 2-ball, and if she could hit this nice and smooth, stay down, she can actually shoot the 3-ball in the same corner pocket. There you go.
Beautiful stroke. You can see it from above. You see the 5 and the 8 tied up there in the middle of the table.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if she can give herself an angle where she can tap it a little bit. You know what? I think she did. Okay, so now she's going to hopefully bump into it, but then what? Oh, she's looking at the 5-9 combination.
Yep. Oh, a little bit of space between the 8 and the 5. All right. Now a big choice. You can tell what she's going to do.
I don't like this. This is an all or nothing. Both balls. The 5-ball goes off the 9 towards the side rail and bounce. If she can almost jack up and elevate, she can cut the 5-ball here and really spin there to the side rail, end rail by the 6, but pretty tough to do. This combination looks really difficult.
Well, she has taken a lot of time. She will use every second.
She's not seriously thinking about kicking this ball. She's not. No, she's not.
Wow. That 5. See, that was unbelievable.
I can't believe what I just saw. It's just a very unlikely shot. And look at it. She came close to both, but she did get really fortunate not to leave Karen Corr an easier shot than this one.
Well, this is really tough for Karen.
Yeah, she's got several possibilities. She's got the 5-ball banking in the same pocket where the 8-ball is, or she can cut the 5 down table, but playing position on the 6 is really difficult. That wasn't the shot. Wow.
That is just stunningly uncharacteristic as far as I'm concerned. Said it was a difficult situation, but that was the last thing I expected right there.
A straight-in scratch?
Yep.
Absolutely.
So now prime chance for Xiaoting. You see the 6
To really do something.
all the way up at the other end of the table at the short rail. She will put herself in position to get down for the 6. Leave a little bit of angle there. Wow, both players with mistakes will be left standing at the end of rack 10. If it indeed is Xiaoting Pan, it would put her 1 rack away from the title at 6-4 on the hill in a race to 7.
You see this shot right here? She came down too far. If she was taller, she would have left the cue ball by the side pocket and went 1 rail. But because of its stretch, she has to bring it out to the middle.
And forced to play a thin cut and bring that cue ball back and forth. And again, nothing Karen can do at this point. But watch as Xiaoting Pan of China gets to the hill. Well, I'll tell you, you don't know what's going to happen here. I know there's a lot of pressure. It's the finals of the WPBA Tour Championship. This ESPN presentation of the WPBA Tour Championship is brought to you by the American Pool Players Association, the world's largest pool league, and by Q-Tech Cues, serious cues for serious players and choice of the world's most dominant player. As we move on here at the Seneca Niagara, you see the beautiful pink Delta 13 True Triangle rack, symbolic of the fight against breast cancer. 10% of all the proceeds for the sale of that rack on WPBA.com will go to the fight against breast cancer. Karen Corr checking things out. Back against the wall. Nowhere to go now. She needs 3 racks in a row to take the title. Xiaoting Pan on the hill at 6-4, race to 7. Mitch Lawrence and the Black Widow, Jeanette Lee, here in Niagara Falls, New York, watching the Tour Championship. 1 rolls into the corner, solid break. But again, nothing for Karen. Look at that face.
Yeah, she let her cue ball come forward again. That's why she's down on this end of the table again, always wanting the cue ball in the middle of the table. I think she's happy if she can hit part of this 2 ball, because if she can see the 2 ball, she's going to hit it very thin on the right-hand side, get the cue ball to come back on the opposite end of the 9 ball. Oop, hit a little bit too hard.
And the frustration of making 3 balls on the break and then not really having any play except the safety.
Right now what she's looking at is, can I hit this 2 ball and bring the cue ball back up table? Where do I want to hit? So right now she's going to hit the left side of the 2, let the 2 ball bank, let the cue ball come back up to the opposite end of the table like you saw there. She did not want to hit that 3 ball. Okay, now Karen can get underneath this 2 ball, hit the end rail, hit the 2 ball as full as possible, so the cue ball will just stop dead in its tracks after hitting a full 2 ball, and send the 2 ball up by the side pocket and back down to the end rail. Oh, she hit that. Didn't get down in it deep enough. She ended up hitting just a piece of the ball.
And a really stunning difference between the Karen Corr of her semifinal against Brittany Bryant. Assured, confident, playing the shots she needed to. And this Karen, who seems to be off kilter this whole match, both in shots and safety play. You're never sure from one match to the next what goes on, what happens to change things. But it's definitely there.
I think that's, wow.
The question is, can Xiaoting take advantage? 1 rack away. Will this be the last rack of the WPBA Classic Tour season?
This is going to be a challenge. She can shoot the 3-ball and even the 4-ball in the same pocket, but wow, she hit that wonderfully. She had to spin over to make sure that she has an angle on the 4-ball to get down to the 6. You know, you get to this level, they all know how to make balls. We all know how to make balls, but can you keep your focus? And that's what you look at from match to match, maintaining that level.
And it's at the end of a long, grueling week, too, so.
You get worn out.
3 balls left for the title.
So it'd be nice if she can go one rail right between the 8-9 to shoot in the side. There you go, but a little bit weak. She's okay.
Xiaoting's last title, the 2008 VCA GenerationPool.com 9-ball championship. That last 9-ball will be a very sweet one for her. Corr's week here in Niagara Falls about to come to an end. And for the first time in her brilliant short career, Xiaoting Pan of China takes the national 9-ball championship here in the United States. A very gracious and happy Xiaoting Pan. I know on the inside she is just bursting with happiness. That's about what we see from her. Great week for Karen Corr, second place finish. Xiaoting Pan is your champion.
And as we look now at our final rankings on the 2010 WPBA Classic 9-ball Tour, Xiaoting and Karen finishing second and third, and sitting atop the rankings, Jasmine Ocean of Austria.
Now it's time for our turning point of the match, brought to you by the American Pool Players Association. Rack number 7, Karen Corr with a chance to play a safety on Xiaoting. Does not pull it off the way she wanted. Xiaoting would go on to win rack 7, take a 4-3 lead, and go on to take the final matchup. Xiaoting Pan, your WPBA Tour champion, is down on the floor with Jeanette Lee.
Xiaoting, you have won so many championships, but this is your first Tour Player Championships. How does it feel?
I'm so happy. I think I have more confidence for next tournament. These 2 years I play, it's no good, no champion, and before the tournament, what?
Are you crazy? You're one of the best players in the world. What are you talking about, confidence? Okay, go on.
I think I need more confidence. Yeah.
Okay.
Get me strong.
All right. Well, hopefully this does it for you. Thank you so much, and we'll see you at the next event.
The next time you'll see us will be at the WPBA Masters in 2011 at Soaring Eagle in Mount Pleasant, Michigan. The trophy presentation, always great. The runner-up trophy to a disappointed but gracious Karen Corr. We'll see her again certainly, and the winner's trophy to our champion, Xiaoting Pan, presented by Karen Karsten from the Seneca Niagara Casino Resort. Niagara Falls is a great example of the magnitude of nature. Xiaoting Pan, a fantastic example that brilliance and talent can also come in small packages. She will add the Tour Championship title to her World 9-ball and BCA Open titles. At 24 years of age, 3 major championships, a dazzling resume. For the Black Widow, Jeanette Lee, I'm Mitch Lawrence. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sport. Congratulations to your champion, Xiaoting Pan.